Yeah, I mean, it's a good one. You can use it for anything, really. I like it.
Now, the problem I have with this is I thought Scarlet was like a day away from them, let alone the time to get to Aidendrill, right?
I thought so, yeah.
Like, he literally said that before, and that's why they had to call her early before they wanted to go. So, I don't know how they're going to get to Aidendrill by nightfall.
I think maybe they're saying that because I know they'd mentioned before that dragons can travel especially fast. They travel with magic. So maybe it will take her a day to get there, but in actual time, it'll be less. I don't know. I'm not trying to play with the laws of physics. I'm sure that whatever I came out with would be shot down right away, but I think that's what it is. I think she can travel assisted by magic, and so therefore she can do it quickly.
I have 2 points after that. My first is I kind of am still standing by the, yes, magic allows Scarlet to fly, but I think her speed is not necessarily assisted by magic. I think it's just like anything flying through the sky, like an airplane. So, like, it's going to take the time it takes, whether you're in an airplane or a dragon. Doesn't matter. They only fly that fast.
So you're saying that the magic holds Scarlet up, not necessarily pushes her forward.
Right, her wings do that, like a bird or a bat.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know that affects this at all, but I feel like magic isn't, like, speeding her forward, I guess.
See, that's the way I pictured it. Like she's taking off on the fucking Millennium Falcon or something. Like she gets up into the air and then...
I don't think so. I don't know. I think it's more logical that Richard misjudged the timing than that there's, like, a teleporter that a dragon shoots into.
Yeah, I mean, well, that certainly is the easiest answer. Probably just screwed up the math a little bit.
Is it Occam's razor? Is that how you say that? The thing that is the most logical, easiest answer is probably the answer. All the other crazy explanations, like, they could be possible, but the chances are that it's the easy one.
I'd never heard of that before.
I don't know. That's what my thought is anyways. So Kahlan tells him he can't go grab his necklaces and all of his, like, accoutrements until Nissel comes and checks his wound. Afterwards, they're gonna get married, but until then, he just needs to sit the fuck down and wait. Okay? So then she goes on a little rant after all of this about not wasting time after that so that they can leave as soon as possible. Like, she really, really drives the point home about how we are not wasting any time at all. And I just felt like, why don't you go grab the necklace and, like, chuck it at him before you go try your dress on?
Right. It would be much easier.
Right. I feel like we weren't told he had to be outside to be calling the dragon or anything. If it's going to take so long and time is so fucking precious, like, speed it along.
Yeah, just do what you can, get it done. No, I think it's like the, the snow globe in the Santa Claus, where you just kind of... Dragon, I call thee. Or something like that.
Yeah.
You would have to invoke the power somehow. I don't know what.
You just suck on it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's anticlimactic if you just go to the top of some mountain and you go like, hey, I need a ride. If you're not busy, that'd be great. Thanks.
It might be the sucking on it thing, though, because, I mean, they were, like, totally getting on in the last book, so there could be some connection there, the saliva. She's like, I'm coming.
That is disturbing.
You don't want to talk about a little dragon play?
No, I'm good.
Okay, all right. I understand, I guess. So Kahlan and Richard do have a little joke back and forth about Kahlan's big bed and how she doesn't want to disappoint him. And he's like, you could never disappoint me. And it's sweet.
It is. And I also thought it was hilarious because she's a virgin and he obviously hasn't been sleeping around. He did, kind of a little bit while he was being trained by the Mord Sith, but I don't personally feel like that counts. So, like, it's probably only going to be a minute anyways.
Well, I don't think that it counts as far as him being, like, a man slut. But I think it definitely counts as far as him only being able to last a minute or two. His time with the Mord Sith was all about, like, control and making things last and be drawn out.
Yeah, that's true. So,
I mean, Kahlan would probably be like, okay, that's enough.
That's enough. Anytime now. Oh, geez, again. I don't know why. It just made me think of Ace Ventura, where they like roll over in the bed and she's like, 3 times. And he goes, I'm sorry. That's never happened to me before. Like, fuck off.
So Kahlan leaves Richard and she goes to try her dress on with Wesleyan. And her tits are basically out in this dress. It's like when we were talking about Pasha's tits being out for the sweat. Yeah. Except
7
this is on
buttons.
purpose. Yeah.
Seriously, you only have 1 button done up there. You can't do any more?
It's sweaty.
It's hot.
Kahlan knows that Richard's going to approve, okay? He's going to be into it, but she's a little worried about everybody else looking and that she might not fill it out well. Like, self-conscious, a little bit. But Wesleyan assures her she's got a great rack. Everybody's been talking about it.
Tits are good. You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're worried about. And this is like a perfectly normal thing there. Just totally placid remark you could make about somebody.
I think in the last book they were talking about her tits too. Like the village people in general were just like, yeah, those are good milk jugs there.
Milk jugs. Just want to bounce them.
That was a totally different thing. The milk jug was one thing. That's at least, like, accurate.
Well, I think if you draw direct attention to them, you're already in hot water as it is. I mean, that's just, like, society today, you could never. It's just such a weird, uninhibited thing that the mud people do. But it's not wrong either.
You mean you could never bounce somebody's boobs? Because I'm picturing, like, really violent bouncing.
I'm pretty sure that you get put on a list if you just run up and do that to somebody.
Right.
But I mean, even commenting on them.
Okay.
Hey, nice rack. No, fuck no. Get off, get away. Creep. Perv. That would never fly.
No, I agree. Wesleyan says maybe her daughter will wear the cleavage dress someday. And Kahlan fiddles with her little necklace that Shota gave her, hoping that maybe if she has a baby someday, it won't be a boy that they have to murder. And maybe it'll be a girl that they can put in a cleavage dress.
It's pretty heavy, man.
Yeah.
It went from something great to something pretty awful really fast.
Happy pre-wedding talk.
Just meant like boobs and then baby death. It's oof.
Yeah. Well, personally, I would wait till the reception to talk about, future babies, just so we could all get drugged before that. But that's just me.
Right. Open bar, dude.
So during their wonderful little conversation here, Sav runs into the door and tells Kahlan that he was with Richard, they were going to get his shit from the spirit house, and then the last sister showed up, and now I'm here. So Kahlan follows him, and they sprint back towards the spirit house.
Trouble on top of trouble on top of trouble.
Didn't we hear in the first book that Trouble had, 3 children? Because I think this is up to, 10.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 10.
Somebody needs to put a Jimmy on.
Trouble just never stopped having kids. Just started pumping them out and never quit. Not a quitter, that Trouble.
This is something you should quit. You know where I think we should sprint to?
What?
The fridge.
I'm already ahead of you. Actually, my beer's gone, so I have to get another one. But it is time for the beer break.
Yeah.
Tonight, we are drinking Cerise, once again from Founders. It is an ale brewed with cherries. And these are some of our favorite beers. One of the first beers we ever tried that was like this was a cherry beer from Perrin. That was actually a cherry IPA, and it was delicious. It's the only IPA Jade has ever willingly drank and happily did it.
I am so upset that they haven't put it back on the menu. And I look, and it's never there.
Well, this is kind of the same as Rubaeus, which is one we've had before, which is an ale made with raspberries. This is just made of cherry, and I really don't know that much else about it other than it's a cherry ale. But I can for sure say it is delicious. The cherry flavor is actual cherry flavor. If you are a fan of craft beer, get this. If you are actually a wine drinker, you would probably enjoy this too.
Yeah, I always think it's funny when people are like, I don't like beer, but then they drink like wine or wine coolers, and I'm like, you could like beer, you just gotta drink because I tell you to.
There's stuff out there you could handle.
Just listen to me.
But I'm going to go get a refill, as is Jade, and we will be back right after this.
And we're back. So Kahlan gets to the spirit house, and she sees Richard. Verna's there. The sword is already out. Things are already not going well. Then she notices the sister is also holding out something. She has the collar in one hand and the knife in her other hand. So she's ready to go too.
Everybody's ready to go. It is about to pop off.
She's telling Richard that he has heard the third reason and is asking for his answer. So Kahlan is late. There was no hesitation this time. Richard tries to turn the collar down, but remembering the conversation with Denna and knowing it's the only way for Richard to get rid of the headaches, Kahlan stops him and tells him he has to take it. Richard is like, the fuck? We've talked about this, like, a lot. Like,
yeah.
That's all we've been talking about for the last couple days. So, no.
I am positive you are extremely clear on my stance on this. I have repeated myself a lot. A lot. I will not wear a collar.
And like you said, you got it. Like, I had confirmation that we were on the same page.
Yeah.
So.
Except not, apparently.
So if this is what you were coming here to do, you could maybe go back. Go back out the door. She says it softly at first to him, but eventually she ends up screaming in his face about if he loves her, he will do this. Just over and over, like picking at him. And at first Richard is like, shut up, we're going to talk later about that, because I'm going to deal with this right now and send her away, like we discussed, and we'll deal with that, because you know I love you, okay? You know I do. You know, the whole not confessing thing that I did? It's because I love you. So, proof.
That's true. I had a theory. It's maybe not a great one, but it's also possible. Kahlan is, in effect, unable to confess Richard at this point, right? I wonder if Kahlan yelling at Richard, making him kind of slip into this madness, made it so that the confessor's power had a little bit more of a grip on him because he wasn't entirely himself. Because maybe that part of him was slipping a little bit when Kahlan, the one person who's not supposed to do that, started doing that. And the lines, like, blurred a little bit.
I mean, maybe. I think on the other side of that, he could have literally been like, confess me right now if you really don't think I love you. Otherwise, shut up and sit down.
Ooh, I hadn't considered that. Yeah, balls on the table for that one.
Yeah. Then you can command me to do whatever I want to do. I'll wear the collar then without any complaint.
Well put, Jade.
Just saying.
Okay, 1-0.
The more intense she gets, though, the more he cracks apart. Like, he ends up just on his knees, like, crying. It doesn't take that long.
No, it doesn't.
She flips her crazy switch pretty quick.
Which just goes to show how close he was to the edge of that this whole time.
Yeah, again, it's only been a couple days since he left his abuser and his indoctrination that he got there. So yeah, I'd say it was boiling just under the surface. But Kahlan, like, flips her crazy switch right away, and she goes in on him. Like, it says